Create-tives! Welcome back to a new video. My channel is about improving people's lives through changing their mindsets and working on their daily lives to help them with their interpersonal skills with other people. And because of that, today's video is about validation. Validation is really important because the chances of you keeping a friendship or relationship because you're validating your partner or friend or whoever, rather than invalidating them, because invalidating is harmful on so many levels that are just mentally draining even. And I gotta admit, relationships are really hard. You have to water them, you have to take care of them, and you need to check in on them once in a while or the relationship will fall apart just like a plant dies. With this validation skill, you will be able to build better lasting relationships. So there are several versions of definitions for validation, but the definition of the validation that we are focusing on today is the recognition or affirmation that a person or their feelings are valid and worthwhile. So the core meaning of validation is accepting someone and not judging someone for being who they are. So how do you validate someone? Here's 3 tips. Let's go. So 1, accept their feelings. There are several tips in accepting someone's feelings, including facial expression, hand gestures, and body language. Your facial expression when you are accepting of someone is soft, welcoming, just nice and approachable. And you can have hand gestures, but it's not always necessary. It just depends on your character. If like your character is like very lots of gestures, then yeah, use your hand gestures. So hand gestures can be interpreted as you are actively listening and you are excited to talk to them about the issue. And body language. It is a very important step because people pick up on emotions really fast, especially if your emotions are angry, sad, mad, upset. All the anger emotions, those are picked up on just a little bit faster, because when you notice someone's sad, like you can tell right away. And sometimes like when someone's happy, like you're not really sure if they're happy. So yeah. So when you are trying to validate someone, make sure your body language isn't like stiff and just like uncomfortable. And make sure when you talk, you're welcoming and accepting their feelings. So for 2, you want to understand their feeling. Understanding someone's feeling means to empathize with them and tell them it's okay for them to have these feelings, and it's okay to feel shameful for having these feelings. So but on the other hand, if you disagree with someone about their feelings, you don't have to just like agree to what they say. You can say, yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from, and I just don't really believe that. And then you can ask them why they're feeling that way, and you can help them get to the bottom of why they feel that way and at which point, and help them figure out why this is the feeling they're having because of some event. So 3, nurture the feeling. So in order to nurture the feeling, what you do is you listen to them intently, and then you come back with them with something that's very similar to what they just said. Like, for example, I am so mad that I didn't get the candy bar at the store. And then the person would say, wow, yeah, I know that feeling. The feeling of regret when you just leave the grocery store and you're about to, and you forget something. That's a really stressful and awkward and uncomfortable situation. Make sure when you're trying to validate them, help them understand why they're feeling that way. Like, get to the bottom of their why. Like, for example, the candy bar example. Why are you upset that you didn't get the candy bar? Because I really wanted the candy bar? By helping them figure out why they're feeling a certain way about their emotion, then the next time when they're trying to figure out why they're so upset, they'll have an easier time just figuring out why they're upset. And it's really hard sometimes, like, to accept the feeling of, like, oh, I'm not very good at validating someone, and just letting that notion sink in. And this way, it'll put you into action. It'll make you more motivated to learn how to validate someone. And then you can help create a sense of love and welcome to people that in a better degree that you never realized that you had, or you realized but you didn't know how that worked. Validating is actually a very important step in our daily lives. Whether it's with our partner, with a parent, and with kids. These dynamics can cause a rift in the situation if the situation isn't handled correctly through validation and communication. So by listening in and validating their feelings, you'll be able to better understand them and build up those relationships. Well, validation isn't really seen. When you are invalidated, you would feel guilty, you would feel shameful, you would feel upset and sad because the person you love doesn't really understand your feeling. And if it prolongs, then it could actually lead to more serious mental illnesses. While it isn't necessarily that intense whenever you invalidate someone, it does happen. And at the end of the day, I believe everyone validates. They just validate in their own ways. And what we have to learn is to validate in a way that they feel understood. So we need to work on the skill of validation in order to grow our validation skills and make sure that a rift doesn't form in relationships. So make sure to go back and listen a few more times to the steps of validation. And feel free to do more research. I would be really excited to hear that you're doing research, because I led you into a new concept. So you can watch more videos, read more articles, and I will have a playlist of validation for you guys. These validation videos won't be from just me, so you can hear other people explain validation to you. But while you do all this research, make sure you are practicing the skill. So maybe do it with a friend. Maybe watch the video with a friend and watch through the playlist with a friend, and then act it out. Talk to them about your feelings, talk to them about a scenario, and just act out your feelings. Because as your validation grows, it just makes people feel better. Also, like, learning about validation and just starting to learn about validation is not shameful at all. It's even commending. It is even like claps. And just letting others know that you are working on validation is just a vulnerability, but also it shows courage. It shows how strong you are and how, like, knowledgeable, and it just shows like you are willing to own up to your mistakes and work on your problems. And just like let them know about the term validation, and just help them, and maybe you'll help them discover, like, oh, this new term that they never understood, that they just never encountered before. And when you help start the conversation of validation, they'll learn about validation. Learning about validation is not shameful, and letting others know that you are working on the subject will actually open up the conversation to let them know about validation, and also open up the conversation that you two can have about it, which would create a better relationship at the end of the day. Hi, creatives! Thank you so much for watching till the end. And if this video was helpful at all, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And make sure to make the bell go ring so you will get notified when I post more videos. So make sure to practice your validation skills. Have a great day, creatives!